Hello dear students, as you all know we are doing last chapter of the physics class 12. The chapter is 14, semiconductor materials and devices and simple circuits. This is the part 3 of the video lecture series, and in the last video lecture we have discussed about conductivity, resistivity of p-type and n-type semiconductors. Today we are going to do a very important part, and that part is p-n junction. p-n junction. As its name suggests, p-n junction, one p-type semiconductor is connected with an n-type semiconductor, and they both are connected at atomic level. It is not like that कि one block of p-type semiconductor we have taken, one block of n-type semiconductor we have taken, and we just physically join them. It is not like that. They should be connected, they should be joined at atomic level, and for joining them at atomic level, what we should do, either it is like one intrinsic semiconductor block, it is doped in a manner that half of it behaves as n-type semiconductor and half of it behaves as p-type semiconductor, or a semiconductor is doped in such a manner that half of it behaves as p-type or another half behaves as n-type. So this is how they are combined at atomic level. Physically, if we combine them by using some glue and all, okay, so they will not behave as a p-n junction. Now how that p-n junction works and what is exactly that, let us try to understand. First of all, let us try to understand p-n junction, what it is exactly. Suppose this is a block, intrinsic semiconductor block, half of it is doped with trivalent, another half is doped with pentavalent. So the half which is doped with trivalent will become p-type semiconductor, and the another half which is doped with n-type pentavalent, it will become n-type semiconductor. So this is p, this is n. When they are joined at atomic level, then what are the changes are there? So if we take an isolated p-type semiconductor, then how it is? If we take an isolated p-type semiconductor, then how it is? In isolated p-type semiconductor, there is negative ion, and with this negative ion, one hole is attached to it. Okay, negative ion, hole is there, negative ion, hole is there, negative ion, hole is there. When they are combined, the net charge is 0. Okay, this is like this. This is the symbol representation of p-type semiconductor. And for n-type semiconductor, how it is like that? For a positive ion, there is an electron. With some positive ion, there is an electron. Positive ion, electron, positive ion, electron, positive ion, electron, positive ion, electron. This is the representation of n-type semiconductor. In this, what is actually happening? Wherever the center atom is the doped one, doping ion one, so it will have plus 3 valency. So if it will have plus 3 valency, then 3 of its electron will make covalent bond and one hole is created over there. So with this 3, there is a hole. Okay, with this 3, there is a hole, right? And same goes with this one, n-type semiconductor. It is doped with plus 5 valency. So what is happening over there? 4 of its electron are used in covalent bond and one electron is extra. So this electron is represented over here. When this electron leaves this orbit, it will have a less number of electron. Suppose plus 5 is phosphorus. Phosphorus atomic number is 15. When one electron leaves, it will become positive ion. Same goes with trivalent. Okay. Suppose if we take the atomic number 13, then what will happen? If these 3 electrons are there, so they will behave as neutral one. But when this hole leaves, when an electron comes over here, then it will become negative charge. Whenever an electron comes and fulfill these holes, this will become neutral and the whole atom will become negative charge. Okay, so this is how this p-type and n-type semiconductor behave. Let me repeat once again. If you have not watched the previous lecture, please watch. This is related to the first lecture of the chapter when we studied valence bond model. If not, you are not able to understand these diagrams, please go through the first part of the lecture series, first part of this chapter number 14, right? So once again, let me repeat. This is p-type semiconductor. For p-type, we add trivalent impurity. For trivalent impurity, 3 electrons of it make covalent bond. One vacancy is created which is called hole. Suppose one electron comes over here and fulfill this vacancy. Earlier it will have plus 13. Suppose I am taking the example of plus 13. Okay, aluminium, I think aluminium has atomic number 13, right? So aluminium has 13 atomic number. So it will have 13 electrons, 13 protons. Then it has a hole. But suppose one electron come over here, then it will have 14 electrons and 13 protons. Then it will have a negative charge. That's why one negative is connected with a hole. When electrons comes, this hole neutralize and the whole atom becomes an ion with one negative charge. Same goes with n-type semiconductor. In n-type semiconductor, it has pentavalent vacancy, pentavalent impurity, 4 electrons with plus 1, 5 electrons. Phosphorus, 15, example is phosphorus. 15 atomic number, 15 protons, 15 electrons are there. When this electron leave its orbit, then what will happen? It will have less number of electrons, and that's why when this electron goes away, it will left with a positive charge. So this is how p-type and n-type semiconductors are made. So let us make here also the representation. For p-type semiconductor, negative ions, okay, negative ions, and with all negative ions, one hole is there. Okay, so this is the representation of p-type semiconductor, negative ions and one hole. Okay, let me make all the circles together, all the holes together. So this is p-type semiconductor. How that n-type semiconductor is there? Let me make it with red so that you can understand. It is with positive charge. Okay, let me make all the circles together, and then after I'll make the different things. Okay, so these are the positive charge, positive ions. But with positive ions, what we have? We have electrons. So here are the electrons. Okay, here are the electrons, right? So this is how the p-type semiconductor and n-type semiconductor, they are made. Okay. Now, the thing is, when they are add at atomic level, then what happens actually? The charges which are nearby the junction, okay, this electron, this electron, this electron, holes are there. So what they do, they just cross the junction and meet the opposite charge over there. Like electron goes over here and meet with the new hole. So electron goes over there and meet with the hole. Hole gets neutralized, electron is also gone. Hole gets neutralized, electron is also gone. Hole is neutralized, electron is also gone. So nearby the junction, we get a region where no majority charge carriers are there. No majority charge carriers. Okay, no majority charge carriers are there in this particular region. Majority charge carriers means in n-type semiconductor, electrons are in majority. In p-type semiconductor, holes are in majority. Again, you have to watch previous lectures for understanding these things. Please go and watch them if you're not getting that one. So no majority charge carrier are there. So this particular region is called depletion region. Depletion region. Depletion means to get rid of, means there is no majority charge carrier. They are depleted from this region. Okay, so there are no majority charge carriers, so they are called, this particular region is called depletion region, or it is also called depletion layer. Okay, let me write the important definitions over here. I am not going to write, I have already sent the note. Okay, just I am writing the points. The very first thing we need to understand is depletion region or depletion layer. Okay, depletion region or depletion layer. What is that? The layer or the region nearby the junction where no majority charge carriers are there, that is called depletion region or depletion layer. Why this is happening? Because when when the p-n junction is formed, majority charge carrier crosses over the junction. They diffused actually from n type to p type. Electrons goes from n type to p type, and electron neutralizes the hole, and that's why there is certain region nearby the junction where no majority charge carriers are there, and that region is called depletion region or depletion layer. Now what is happening over there? Towards this side of the junction, it is positively charged, and toward this side of the junction, there is negative charge. Okay, here positive immobile ions are there, and here negative immobile. Immobile means which cannot move. Which cannot move. These charges cannot move actually. Okay, this positive, this negative, they cannot move. So these are called immobile ions. So immobile ions, they made this side of the junction positive and this side of the junction negative. So basically now these charges, this positive and negative, stops, or you can say obstruct the flow of further electrons from n type to p type. Now if this electron tries to cross the junction, then this negative charge will not allow this electron to cross the junction, because this negative will repel the electron. Okay, so this voltage plus or minus, one voltage is created over here, and that voltage stops or obstruct further diffusion. So this potential is called barrier potential, and it is denoted by VB. VB is positive. It is positive in N side and it is negative in P side. And why it is called a barrier? Because it obstructs the flow of the diffusion of further charges. Now these electron cannot go over here. Okay, because these negative charge will repel that electron. So this is called barrier potential. Okay. Third thing is called diffusion. Diffusion current. What is diffusion first of all? Okay, one more thing related to barrier potential. We study one more thing. Let me do that once again. That is barrier field. Barrier field. Barrier field is electric field which obstruct the flow of electron. Due to this potential difference, one electric field is also created, and that field is called barrier field. It stops further diffusion of electrons. Now the fourth one is diffusion current. Diffusion current. What is diffusion current? So basically when p-n junction is formed, electrons are transferred over the junction. So that flow of electron causes, the diffusion of electron causes flow of electrons, and that flow of electron causes a current which is called diffusion current. One very important point is also there, and that is called drift current. If I ask you what is the direction of diffusion current, electrons are going from n side to p side. So basically direction of diffusion current is from p to n side. Now this barrier potential obstruct the flow of majority charge carriers, means electron cannot go over here. But all we know that in n-type semiconductor there are some minority charge carriers, and those are holes actually. Holes are minority charge carriers in n-type semiconductor. Electrons are minority charge carriers in p-type semiconductor. They are few in numbers, they are very small in numbers, but they are present over there. So now this barrier potential supports the motion of that particular minority charge carriers. If holes are there, so this electron attract the holes towards this side of the junction. If electrons are there, this positive potential attracts the electron towards this side of the junction. So due to flow of minority charge carriers, there is a current which is called drift current. Now in drift current, holes are moving towards p side and electrons are moving towards n side. So basically this causes drift current. So electrons are moving this side, so direction of current will be from n side to p side. At equilibrium what happens? this diffusion current and drift current becomes equal and the net current across the junction becomes 0. So this is all about PN junction when it is not connected to a cell. Let me repeat once again, what are these things? These things are asked in 2 number or 1 marks definition in board examination. The very first thing is depletion region. What is that depletion region? It is the region in which majority charge carriers are not there. Barrier potential, potential across the junction which obstruct the flow of majority charge carriers is called barrier potential. Positive is created toward N side and negative is created towards P side. Barrier field, what is barrier field? Due to barrier potential, one electric field is created which also obstruct the flow of majority charge carriers. Diffusion current due to diffusion of charges and those charges are basically majority charge carriers. So that is called diffusion current. Its direction is from P to N. Drift current due to flow of minority charge carriers. There is a current which is called drift current and it flows towards from N to P. So basically this is all about PN junction, but PN junction in when there is no cell connected. Okay. Now let us understand the biasing of PN junction. There are 2 kinds of biasing, one is forward biasing, one is reverse biasing. Let us try to understand what are those. The next thing we are going to understand is forward biasing. Okay, forward biasing. Okay, now just try to understand what is meant by biasing. This word bias is actually means to be partial. Okay, like students always think that teachers are biased towards good student. Okay, teachers are biased. They like good students which are good in studies and they don't like the students which are not good in studies, but it is not true. Actually we like all our students. So biasing is to be partial. Okay, partial towards something. So what is meant by forward biasing? What here we meant by forward biasing? Forward biasing means we try to push majority charge carriers in forward direction. So let us try to understand if this is a PN junction. If this is a PN junction, this is P, this is N. Okay. Now this is depletion region. This is depletion region when there is no cell. Okay, when there is no cell, this is P side, this is N side. All we know that in depletion region there is a barrier potential. Barrier potential is VB, and for barrier potential here we have immobile ions as positive, and in this P side we have negative. Okay, now I am making only this should be negative. Now I am making only those charges which are to be considered. In P side what we have? In P side we have holes. Okay. In N side what we have? We have electrons. Okay. So this electron cannot go over that side. These holes cannot go over that side because this PN junction is now in equilibrium state. For VB, this is plus side and this is minus side. Now, what is meant by forward biasing? What we do? We actually connect this P side with positive terminal of the cell and N side with negative terminal of the cell. Right? We do this thing. So because of this, what happens now? Holes are pushed towards the junction. Because when this key is on, obviously, okay, this is key, this is a resistance which represents resistance of this wire. Okay, now this V, what V does, what this cell does, this cell push the positive holes towards the junction. This is positive, holes are also considered to be positive. So now this positive terminal of the battery push the charges towards the junction. This negative terminals of the battery push the charges towards the junction. So we have actually in 2 reasons, we have actually 2 values of V. When V is less than VB, when V, this what we have applied, and VB is barrier potential is less than VB. In that case, what is happening? The holes are pushed towards the junction, electrons are pushed towards the junction. So this depletion region decreases. Why is it so? Depletion region we have defined like where no majority charge carriers are there, but holes are pushed towards the junction, electrons are pushed towards the junction. So basically this makes a p-n junction with smaller depletion region because holes are pushed, electrons are also pushed. And the second reason where V is greater than VB. In this, what is happening? Now holes are having greater potential to be pushed and to be cross this depletion region. Now holes are moving towards this side, electrons are moving this side, and now this p-n junction starts conducting actually. Holes are moving this side, electrons are moving this side. So from here, the current starts flowing, and from here, the current comes over here and meets with the cell. So this is how the circuit works. In this, current starts flowing. Current starts flowing. Okay, in this current was not flowing because VB was greater than VB. The obstruction was greater than the applied potential. But in this region, what is happening? V is greater than VB, so current starts flowing. PN junction, when we apply in a circuit, when we represent in a circuit, if the same circuit I make, so PN junction are represented like this. This side represents P, this side represents N. They are connected with a cell with a key and one equivalent resistance I am showing of connecting wires. So this is the same circuit I have made, but in something or in form of symbols. Okay. What we do, we draw a forward characteristics curve. For a forward characteristics curve, what we do? We connect the cell. We need to calculate the voltage. We need to take the voltage also. So you apply a voltage, put a voltmeter, and here we make a meter to note down the variation in current. Now this is connected to positive terminal of the battery. Okay, this is connected with the positive terminal of the battery like this. Okay, this is how the circuit is made. Now with this, by shifting this one, we can adjust the voltage across PN junction. And when we draw the characteristic curve, then what we get actually, initially when V was less than VB, the current was very small, exactly approximate it is equal to 0 only. But after some time when V crosses VB, the current starts increasing exponentially. So this is how the graph is made. Okay, in this graph there is a thing to be note down. And what is that thing? Initially the current was not moving. After that certain value, current is varying with voltage, and it is varying exponentially. It is increased. This is not a straight line. So basically PN junction does not follow Ohm's law. PN junction does not follow Ohm's law. Moreover, if we calculate resistance, so from this point to this point, resistance is something else. From this point to this point, resistance is something else, because if you take a slope of graph between these two, so it is the delta V, it is delta I, and it is delta V. So here delta V upon delta I is something different, and for this point, here it is delta I and here it is delta V. For this, delta V and delta I is something different. So basically resistance is not constant, and that's why we call dynamic resistance okay, dynamic resistance, because it keeps on varying. So for a particular point, dynamic resistance R is given as delta V upon delta I, but it keeps on changing. It is not fixed, and with increasing voltage the resistance actually decreases, because with increasing potential what happens, number of charge carriers which are moving, they increases very exponentially, and that's why the current increases. Okay, this is a very benefiting thing of this PN junction. With PN junction, when we increase the potential, when we increase the temperature, its conductivity increases and resistance decreases. So this is all about forward biasing. This is the circuit to be made. This is the forward characteristics. This is called VI characteristics. VI characteristics, right? This is VI characteristics. This is the circuit. This is the circuit to be made. Okay, this is to be understood, and this is all about forward biasing. Let us move towards reverse biasing. Now let us continue with the reverse biasing. In reverse biasing, what is happening? So this is your PN junction, this is the junction, this is the depletion region. Okay, here we have holes, here we have electrons, and in this side we have positive ions, and this side we have negative ions. This is unbiased PN junction. Now this unbiased PN junction is connected with a cell, but now it is reverse biasing. So P type is connected with negative and N type is connected with positive. Okay, so this is how the circuit is there. Why I have connected so many cells over there? Because in reverse biasing the current is very small. Okay, current is very small. Now what is happening? This because this negative terminal, holes are pushed away from the junction. This is because of this positive, electrons are pushed away from the junction. So basically when we apply reverse biasing, the width of depletion region increases. In reverse biasing, width of depletion region, width of depletion region increases. Okay, width increases. In reverse biasing, this is the main point. In forward biasing, what was happening? Width of depletion region was decreased because holes were pushed towards the junction, electrons were pushed towards the junction, but because of this biasing, this negative, holes are pushed away, electrons are pulled away. Okay, so this is width of depletion region increases, and here what is happening? The net potential across the junction becomes what? V plus VB. Because V is connected, V is in the same manner as this negative, this positive, this positive. So basically this negative and this negative, this positive and this positive, they are in the same orientation, you can say. So basically what is happening? The potential increases. So because depletion region increases, the potential across the junction increases. So majority charge carriers are not allowed to flow from N side to P side and P side to N side. But again, there are some electrons which are less in number, and there are some holes in N side which are less in number. Now this increased reverse voltage supports the flow of these minority charge carriers, and because of the minority charge carriers, we get current across the junction. But since they are very less in number, current is very small. So basically, in this what is happening? The current which is flowing, it is in order of microampere, and it is very small current, almost negligible. And that's why we said in reverse biasing, PN junction offers infinite resistance. PN junction offers infinite resistance because the current which is flowing, it is very small and it is negligible. Okay, if I make a circuit to represent this circuit, the circuit will be like, this is your PN junction. With PN junction we connect a cell, but cell is connected in reverse order. So something like this, a battery group of cells, and now this is an equivalent resistance. This is key, this is V, this is P side, P is connected to N side, N is connected to positive side. Okay. For reverse biasing characteristic, how the circuit will be made? For reverse biasing characteristic, this is your PN junction. One voltmeter is connected to note down the voltage. One micrometer is connected. What micrometer does? Micrometer notes down the current. Now how the cell is connected, how the group of cells are connected. So group of cells are connected as like negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, positive. So these are V, okay. This is V, this is P side, this is N side. And from here, if we note down, the reverse voltage are drawn in the reverse bias characteristics are drawn in the third quadrant, okay. Reverse biasing characteristics are drawn in the third quadrant, because here what we apply V is negative and current is also flowing towards from the n side to p side. Electrons are flowing from n side to p side, so current flowing from p side to n side. So current is also negative, voltage is also negative, and that's why we draw it in the third orbit. What we observe? We observe that current is flowing something like this. Initially, till this point, current was flowing very small, almost negligible. This is in terms of microampere. But after this voltage, current increases exponentially, infinitely. So this particular thing is called breakdown. Okay, this particular thing is called breakdown. What is breakdown? Breakdown is the reverse voltage is so strong that there is an infinite current across the junction. So this particular thing is called breakdown, and the voltage at which the breakdown occurs, that voltage is called breakdown voltage. Okay, there are two theories for that. Earlier it was there in the syllabus, but this year it was deleted. But let me tell you so that you can understand why this breakdown occurs. There are two theories. One theory is avalanche theory. Avalanche theory. And another theory is Jenner. Okay, Jenner theory. These two theories are there for two different type of PN junctions. Jenner theory is applicable for those PN junctions which are heavily doped. When they are heavily doped, then what is happening? There are very high number of majority charge carriers. Okay, so when a heavily doped PN junction is there, its depletion region is small. Now what is happening when we apply a reverse voltage? This reverse voltage increases the reverse voltage. When we apply a reverse voltage V, it is added with the barrier potential and net voltage increases. Now this net voltage causes a higher electric field. The width of depletion region is approximate 10 to the power minus 5 to 10 to the power minus 6 meter, which is very small. And all we know that electric field and potential E is equal to V by D. So voltage is applied and D is in order of 10 to the power minus 6 and 10 to the power minus 6. So when it goes in the numerator, it something becomes 10 to the power 5, which is a very high electric field. And this electric field is so strong that it starts pulling the electrons from the covalent bond. So electrons are coming out of covalent bond. They create a hole, their backside, they create a hole at that place from where the electron is coming out, and that's why the number of charge carriers increases rapidly, and because of that current increases very rapidly. Once again, in heavily doped PN junction, depletion region is very small. Because of this depletion region, electric field is very strong. When strong electric field is that much strong that it start pulling the electrons out of covalent bond. When the electron comes out of covalent bond, it makes a hole. Okay, so electrons and holes, they are produced very rapidly. Number of charge carrier increases infinitely, and because of that, current also increases infinitely. This is Jenner theory. What is avalanche theory? Avalanche theory is applicable for those PN junctions which are lightly doped. So this theory is not applicable because the depletion region is thick. Now, in avalanche theory, what is told? When the electron is moving under this potential, it is having a kinetic energy as Q into V plus VB. When this V plus VB increases so much, this is the kinetic energy of electron. When this V plus VB increases that much, that its kinetic energy is strong enough to collide with one electron of covalent bond and make that electron free. This electron is having that much kinetic energy. This electron is there in covalent bond. When it strikes over there, then this electron get energy and it comes out of its covalent bond. Now if it comes out of its covalent bond, there is a vacancy of electron in the covalent, and that is called hole. So now two electrons are there, one hole is there, these two electrons go somewhere else, they make another two electrons free. So in this manner, a chain of collision is set up, and because of that, what happens? The number of charge carriers increases infinitely, and because of that, current increases infinitely. So earlier it was there in the syllabus, this year it is not there. Okay, So, but I have told you what is breakdown and how it occurs. So, I think this is all for the day. In the next video lecture, we will study a very important topic which is surely going to come in this board examination because so many things are there which have been deleted. So, this topic is again a very important one, and that is rectifier. So, half wave rectifier, full wave rectifier, and we'll discuss some photonic PN junction diodes. There are three. One is photodiode, one is LED, and one is solar cell. With solar cell, the chapter ends. Okay. So I think maximum two video lectures are still left. That will be done after this, after some time. So this is all for the day. I hope you are studying. Please take care of the guidelines what are being issued from the government. Okay. Just wear the mask, sanitize your hand, avoid going at public places. Do come to school, but please follow the guidelines. Okay. So this is all for the day. Thank you.